All right, so Minnesota Timberwolves, they handled business. They finished the Warriors off. Gentleman sweep 4-1. Of course, it was without Steph Curry, but you still got to give them credit for getting the job done, not playing with their food, not playing down to their competition, and keeping their foot on the gas, man. So I want to give them a shout out for that, and congratulations for getting to the conference finals once again. This is going to be a good finals or conference finals matchup once we realize who's coming from the Denver and OKC game. I think the matchup of Denver and Minnesota will be good, and the matchup of OKC and Minnesota would be even better, right? That's going to be a good series to watch. It's going to be evenly matched. You got two stars. You got an MVP candidate who is the favorite to win MVP in SGA, and then you got a future MVP candidate in Ant Man. So to see them go at it is going to be really dope. But enough about the Minnesota Timberwolves. Even though they did win this series, and the talk should be about them, there's also a team on the losing side who's got a future to think about and an off season to use to think about that, right? And that future somewhat is kind of like predictable. Um, it's been obvious that Golden State has embraced what their culture was when they won championships, what their core pieces was when they won championships, and they have valued those core pieces more than they have valued the future that they tried to draft to bring in to keep that culture going after the core pieces are not able to contend anymore, right? That was the plan that Bob Myers had. Bob Myers drafted very well. Um, he brought in key free agents. And when I say drafted well, I mean to bring in Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, Wiseman, Gary Payton. Well, I don't know if Gary Payton was a draft, but that might have been a sign. Um, Making a trade for D'Lo, then making a trade to get D'Lo out of there once he realized that there wasn't a good fit for Andrew Wiggins. So you got Wiggins, you got Payton, you got Kuminga, you got Moody, you got Wiseman. These were all great draft picks by Bob Myers, and those draft picks were supposed to be replacements. Those key free agent pickups and those trades was supposed to be replacements for Steph. Oh, and I can't forget Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, another draftee. So you got Jordan Poole was a great replacement, and I want you to think about having Steph Curry at 37. They knew that the way he took care of himself and the way he prepared and the way he was able to avoid any major injuries except for maybe his ankles early on. But once they got that under control, he's able to, he's pretty durable. So they probably think that, hey, well, we probably can retool. I mean, if the key piece is Steph, we can retool around him, right? We can retool around him. Okay, we know having a shooter beside him makes us deadly because with him and Clay, that was deadly. So they found another shooter in Jordan Poole as a good insurance policy just in case we lose Clay for whatever reason, we can't resign him or whatever, or if we lose him to injury. So we got Poole and he integrated very well, right? So you had Poole. You bring in Jonathan Wiseman. That was a great pick. I mean, you get was he number two or was he the number one pick? I can't remember. He came in the draft with Melo. I don't know if it was the number two or the number three pick, but nonetheless, you get Jonathan Wiseman. Great athletic 7 foot big, can score it, can shoot it, can dribble it. Like I mean, he was a great find for Golden State, and he played very well as a rookie. You bring him in, and all right, man, we got Steph, and then we move forward with Poole, Wiggins, and then we won't play the small ball lineup that we've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years with Draymond. We'll just go more conventional, and we got a 7 foot in Wiseman who's got ability to score. Like he just won't be a Kevon Looney that just runs around rebounds and throws the ball back to Steph after he get the rebound. Jonathan Kuminga, when he get the rebound, he's trying to put it back in the hole, right? When Jonathan Kuminga's on the floor and we need a bucket, he's thinking, give it to me in the post instead of let me come set this off-ball screen for Jordan Poole or Steph. That's their offense. They want everyone to think, every big man that plays with them, they want to think like Draymond or Kevon Looney. I'm only here to block shots and play defense and rebound. And I'm not here to score unless I just get lucky. They want them to think like that. That's what Draymond thinks like. That's how Trace Jackson has embraced that role. That's what he does. That's what Bogut was doing. That's what Looney does. Right. And what makes it so great about Golden State is once these guys learn that and they realize that's what their role is, they don't have no problem when Steve Kerr just all of a sudden say, well, you know what? Yeah, we go bench you. I mean, Trace Jackson Jr. went from being a key piece in the rotation last season to barely even playing late in this season, and especially the playoffs. Right? I mean, Quentin Post was starting last series. I don't even think he's gotten the game much at this series. Like you had that's how you gotta be okay with that. All right, I might play this series, I might not play next series. I might play this year, I might not play next year. All right, that's how the bigs are. And what Wiseman didn't get is the concept of I have the ability to score, but I'm never going to use it in this offense. He just didn't get that. Right. It was cool when Steph was hurt and Clay was hurt and then Draymond was hurt. Like they was all hurt his rookie season. It was cool when he was out there getting buckets then, but when Steph came back healthy, that was like we no longer need your services to score, John Wiseman. We don't need your scoring. And I think the issue there is Wiseman was like I still want to shoot the ball. So what ended up happening is I think he got injured for like a month. When he came back after that injury, all of a sudden it was like, yeah, we want him to get in shape and get back ready to play. So we go drop him to the D League or the G League. They drop Wiseman to the G League, and I don't know why they dropped him to the G League, right? And then when they brought him back up, all of a sudden he just wasn't in the rotation. So it was almost like Kerr was like, you go play the way I want you to play, or you're not gonna play at all. Well, and I think that's what happened. But anyway, nonetheless, Jonathan Kuminga, they got a decision to make on him. He's a free agent this summer. He was supposed to get an extension this year before the season started or during the season or whatever the case may be before the deadline. They didn't extend them. They couldn't reach an agreement. They probably tried to lowball him, and him and his agent know that he's worth more than that. But here's the issue. Remember, Steve Kerr, the way they think is the way they think. Kuminga is another person who feels like I can score too. And Kerr keeps trying to get him to realize that's not our system. Our system is that Steph scores and everyone scores off of Steph. Right? We don't need you going to go get your own bucket. We don't need you wanting the ball in the post. We don't need you wanting the ball at all. Everyone scores off Steph gravity. And we want those threes to go up. And we want our small forwards to play power forwards and our power forwards to play center and our shooting guards to play small forward. And sometimes our point guards to play power forward. That's what we want. And you have to defend a position above what you play. You have to rebound like a power forward because we're playing small and you have to. And you have to worry about not scoring. If you ask to score again, I'm going to bench you. I mean, that's the message, man. I mean, he benched Tatum in the Olympics. Who knows why? Wiseman bench, Kuminga bench, Moody bench. Like so many people get benched. One person that don't get benched is Podziemski. Podziemski gets minutes like he Klay Thompson. He gets minutes. Just a weird whole thing for Golden State and Steve Kerr. But the TNT crew talked about it. This is what they said.
Man, the Kuminga thing is interesting because the three old guys making a lot of money, so you pretty much stuck with them for the next 2 years. And the Kuminga thing, we're in the back. We're like, damn, he either plays or he doesn't play. But now you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision whether to pay him or not.
Well, I think they've made their decision because
they didn't extend him.
They didn't extend him, and also they don't play him when Steph is there. Meaning, his contribution they don't feel helps when Steph is there. They've said it.
Yeah, but
his play.
And I'm gonna disagree with you.
No, they've said it. Not me.
I know that, but I'm saying he's the only one on that bench that's explosive, and you can't go to war with three old guys against the West and think like he was the only guy out there when you said like, oh, he can play with these Minnesota Timberwolves guys, but he's a restricted free agent, which means that's like, and I say I don't want to make a comment because they know him better than we do. They didn't extend him when all the other rookies got extended, so it tells me they don't believe in him. That's my personal opinion.
Do you not think Golden State could have, if Steph doesn't get hurt, could have won this series?
I do not. Old people get older. Steph gonna be a year older. Jimmy Butler gonna be a year older. Draymond gonna be a year older. The notion that you think they're gonna be better a year from now, they just gonna be older.
Well, young people get older every year too.
They do, but they're still younger than them old users.
Oh, righty.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about sports, Father Time, he ain't never gonna lose.
Well, I do think that the Golden State Warriors is they don't have enough size. Nope. You know, when they were winning when they were winning championships there, even though we had you had three great players in their prime, but you also before that when they had Andrew Bogut, they had Looney was younger. They always had a five-man who could. They had
Iguodala coming off the bench,
and the one who actually hurt Kevin Durant in the Kawhi Leonard.
Yes.
They always had Zaza Pachulia. They always had a 6'10", 6'11" guy that was serviceable. And I don't think they have that now. And Draymond plays too many at the five at this stage in his career.
We're going to talk minute.
Those are facts. Draymond plays at the five too much, too long. I mean, if you remember when they was making those championship runs, Kenny Smith is right. They didn't start out with a small ball lineup and rely on it. They had a depth lineup. They called it a depth lineup where they went small, and they called it a depth lineup because they can really put up some points in that lineup. And I think that lineup was Iguodala was on that lineup, KD and Draymond, and that was the front court. That was your forwards and your centers, right? So you out there with three forwards. Andre Iguodala, scoring ability, athleticism, can defend. KD, scoring ability, can defend, athleticism, size, as far as height. Draymond Green, great defender, high IQ guy on offense, can pass the ball, and got the ability to score as well, just not from three like a KD or Iguodala, right? So you got the offensive punch at the front court, and you got the switchability at every position almost, because Clay was out there with Steph as well. But Clay, before injuries, was a really great defender. So you have four guys that can switch every screen, right? But they switched everything, even with Steph out there. But they like that lineup because they like switching. That's when they fell in love with switching everything, and that was like their secret sauce on defense. The fact that we can go small. We can switch every screen, so a lot, and almost every team was using screen and roll actions in their offense. And now you don't gain an advantage when you do that, because instead of us trying to fight over screens and you getting some type of advantage or some type of crease because we're fighting over the screen or we're going under the screens and you're getting jump shots off of it, or which we're trying to play drop coverage and give you jump shots, or we're playing where we're hedging and now we make a mistake on the hedge trying to get back to our man, and we give up some type of lob, or to stop the lob we over rotate from the other side and we give up the three in the corner or something like that, or we give the lob up on the backside. Like, a lot of things can happen with those screen actions, depending on how you defend it. But if you just switch it, none of those things are really that possible. The only thing that's possible after you switch it is having a mismatch that you can go ISO on and score on. But when you have the depth lineup and they all can defend, if Clay is guarding you, he's a great defender. You're not going to ISO him. And then when you screen and switch, now you got Iguodala on you, a better defender. Or Draymond, a better defender. You get what I'm saying? Like, so there was no advantage. The only person you could hunt was Steph, and they had a system to where they would hide him a little bit. Where if Steph man was coming to set the screen, maybe it was a 1-4 screen with Kyrie and LeBron. Someone from the diagonal side, while they see that screen coming, they would just run and guard Steph man for him, and Steph would just crisscross and go and guard where they just came from. That way, the good defender is guarding the screen, and we're just switching that, right? So they had ways to hide Steph a little bit, but this is my point. That was only something that they did from time to time during the game. They didn't even do it every game. They didn't even play that depth lineup every game. But when they did play it, it was a stretch of 3, 4, 5 minutes. They might close a game with that lineup. You get what I'm saying? But it was real strategic how they did it. Never started with it. They always had 7-footers. They always had an Andrew Bogut starting. They can rim protect. They can defend and rebound on the offensive end as well. Do those things. They've already had that. Come off the bench with Avesta Azili, right? 7-footer, rim protector, defender, defensive minded. Whether it was a JaVale McGee or Zaza Pachulia, whether they had David West at power forward, like they've always had big guys that wanted to play defense, that could guard the post, could guard your best post player pretty good, and who can rim protect on the weak side, or rim protect and help defense, right? They've always had that. And then they switched it where they was like, man, we like this small ball so much. There's no need for us to really have no 7-foot rim protecting shot blocker type guy. And if we do got one, we ain't gonna start him. We'd rather start Draymond Green at the 5. And that's why people like Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, they can't really thrive like they really want to consistently in this offense. Right? Andrew Wiggins made an all-star with this team and won a championship and kind of, rekindled the fire for his career. And then it all went out, playing so much power forward. And, after a while, you kind of stop really wanting to do that, man. Like, you lose the motivation. Like, like my motivation was I do anything to win. Then we won. And ain't nobody get credit for it except Steph and Draymond. And it kind of takes the air out of a lot of people. Now you want me to run through a brick wall again? I'm like, shh. And then we got to sit here and witness one of our teammates get knocked the fool out. Just knocked out. And the whole organization act like it was his fault. And the dude that did it, y'all treat him like he Steph. And that takes air out of the room as well. So what you do, we got to fix this problem. So you get rid of Poole like he's the problem. You get rid of Poole, and then you say, okay, now we can get our locker room back. And it still didn't work. So you trying to get rid of people that got issues with what they saw. Now we got to get rid of Wiggins. Now Wiggins gone. Like, you trying so many different things to fix something that Draymond broke, but is the answer is never Draymond. The answer is never Draymond. There's always everything around him and everybody around him. Even Clay's out of there. Like, you moving all these people. Like, you couldn't keep Wiseman because you want to play this small ball lineup. Y'all could have moved forward with Wiseman and got away from Draymond Green. Y'all could have turned this team into something just like all these other young teams that believed in their young players. OKC believed in their young players moving forward. The Rockets believed in their young players moving forward. Sacramento did as well, but they screwed that up. Right? Detroit, same thing. Cade Cunningham and all these new guys we're bringing in, new blood. I mean, Minnesota, same thing. This is very important. You get these young players for a reason, and you move forward. The league is moving forward, and Golden State is not moving with the league because of Draymond. They want to keep it, and because of Steve Kerr. They had the youngins in place that can run. Just like Charles Barkley said, Kuminga is the only one that looks like he can run with Minnesota. He was the only young, strong, vibrant, energetic, athletic player with scoring ability and size. If they got a young player on that team, he don't have the scoring ability, the athletic, and the athleticism and the size of Kuminga to stay with an Ant Edwards, to run with a Julius Randle and a McDaniels. They can't even run with a Alexander Walker, right? So, I mean, they got Podziemski. He's young, but he ain't got the scoring ability and the athleticism of Kuminga. You got Trace Jackson Davis, but he ain't got the scoring ability of Kuminga. Looney ain't young no more. Like, what are we doing? Right? What are we doing? Gil's Arena spoke about it too.
Shout out Kuminga. Jesus.
Yeah.
He's
Why you gotta watch him still playing with Kuminga's emotions?
Now you need
I'm getting my bag one way or the other.
I hate coaches like that. Now you need me. You
Ain't nothing you
play
can
me
do.
all these minutes.
You out there.
all you can do is just keep playing.
Where's all that? Put fucking all these people in, Ross in front of me, all this shit. But now you need me to score.
Yeah. No, I don't need you to score. We know we lost. Just unfortunately, I got to do it. The fact that he's not starting, the fact that you have a starting lineup of Draymond Green, right?
Yep.
I don't know what 20 points you're gonna get out of him, like just on a consistent night, because that's not his game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Davis,
Trace Jackson Davis.
Like,
I'm just trying to figure out what does he start for at this moment in time? Just to is he like a family friend? Like is he like does he have one of your kids hostage? Why is he starting? It's like he tips the ball. As soon as he tips it in, they already push the sub button, and then once there's a dead ball, he's coming out. That's how they're playing him. So he's not really going to be effective to the offense. And then Brzezinski, you can see he's not ready for playoff basketball yet. So you got three people in your starting lineup that's really non-existent. Then you have Jimmy Butler that you don't have anybody for him to really pass the ball to at this moment in time. Well, he passed. He only took 7 shots.
I know,
He passing that motherfucker. Trust me.
At this point, he's just passing it.
Yeah, he definitely getting off of it.
And then Buddy Hield, he don't really put the ball on the what's the
He better not.
right? So it's like just everybody just stay home. What the fuck are we leaving for? What are we doing here?
Yo, it's like they told him this as soon as Buddy dribble pressure.
Yep.
Boy, listen.
So the only the only chance you do have is playing Kuminga in the starting lineup with Jimmy Butler. Because now he can possibly be the option one and let Jimmy do what he's doing. But the fact that you're going to waste 5, 6, 7 minutes with the lineup that you have in, that's the fucking point.
And every time Kuminga do something, he just smiling and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah. About to be fired. Oh, that black motherfucker out there.
Yeah, what 30?
Jimmy, stop passing him the ball.
30 off the bench. 30 off. Then follow that up with 23. Listen, hey,
He been averaging.
we gonna do it again. Listen, hey.
Let's talk a little bit more Kuminga. So after being relegated to the doghouse the last month, embraced his opportunity with Steph on the bench. In his last 3 games, Kuminga's averaging 24 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 60% from the field, 44% from 3, nearly 31 minutes per game. So I think we can all agree the Warriors look funny in the light trying to play those games with that many.
I'm trying to figure out why he averaging 2 assists.
This man's averaging in 3 games. I think that might have been before this game tonight. And he had 26 tonight, so that average ain't gonna change much. But in 30 minutes, right? And mind you, Pajinski played 38 minutes tonight, and I think he starts. So Kuminga don't start, and he don't get as many minutes as Pajinski, right? So in 30 minutes of play, he's averaging 24 points. He's shooting it 60% from the field and above 40% from three. And 3-point shooting is supposed to be his flaw, his weakness. He looks like their best offensive player without Steph. Looks even better than Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler did not look good trying to be Batman while Batman was on the bench. It doesn't look good for Golden State and Steve Kerr to have benched Kuminga and to find out in the playoffs that he's your best offensive player, not named Steph. Especially after the fact that you made a trade at the deadline to get Jimmy Butler. And as soon as Jimmy Butler came over here, you gave him exactly what Pat Riley wouldn't give him, was a contract extension for some good money for an aging all-star that plays the same exact position as the 22-year-old that you got that's on a rookie contract and who's been negotiating with you for a contract extension that you won't give him. So you're going to give it to the old guy, not the young guy, and you basically going to let the young guy walk. You're basically going to let the young guy walk. And when Steph goes down, you got to bring the young guy off the bench to be able to get you consistent 25 points because you can't get it for the guy you just traded and extended in Jimmy Butler. That doesn't look good. And if I'm Kuminga and if I'm Kuminga's agent, we've already made that decision. You didn't treat my client right. You didn't negotiate with us properly. And then after we couldn't reach an agreement, you benched him as if to say, well, if we can't play you and have you long term and you're not part of our plans in the future, then we might as well just get used to living without you. We're going to put you on the bench. And oh, by the way, with you being on the bench, that's going to hurt the opportunity that you have to go out and showcase your talents for some other team to want to give you the bag. But that backfired because God don't like ugly. That backfired. And then your star goes down and you ain't had no choice but to play Kuminga. So in 4 games in a heated second round playoff series, he was able to perform on a huge stage in front of millions of people. And of course, all 29 other teams can see what he's capable of if you give him the damn ball and give him some minutes. So if I'm a Kuminga, I'm going to Texas. I'm either going to walk straight over to the Dallas Mavericks and say, hey, do you want me? Do you want to give me some money? Because the only people they're paying right now is AD and Kyrie. They got Cooper Flag on a rookie contract. I think they just gave PJ Brown, Washington some money. They gave Clay a little bit of money too. So I mean, it'd be interesting to see what they got left, but that'd be my third choice. My second choice would be Houston if they make the trade for KD, because if they make the trade for KD, that means they're getting rid of Jalen Green and possibly Jabari Smith Jr. as well. So you would have Sengun at the 5, KD at the 4, and Kuminga fit right there at the 3, and Amin Thompson at the 2, and Van Vliet or some other point guard at the 1. Or my number 1 choice would be San Antonio. I go over there. I'm with Wemby. I'm with De'Aaron Fox. I'm with the Rookie of the Year, Castle. And if San Antonio decide they want to trade the number 1 and the number 14 pick and some other player assets for Giannis, then Giannis would be there as well. And that'd be Wemby at the 5, Giannis at the 4, Kuminga at the 3, Castle at the 2, De'Aaron Fox at the 1. All those teams are young and ready to go, and I pick any one of those teams over Golden State. Well, Steve Kerr has a habit of just deciding I'm not going to play certain guys. He did it to Tatum in the Olympics. He did it to Kuminga. He did it to Moody. He did it to Gary Payton. He did it to Wiseman. I mean, it's just weird. I mean, he's a likable guy. I just don't understand. I just don't understand what they did. But that's why Bob Myers left. Not nonsense like that. They sabotaged their future for Draymond Green. Everybody took a fall for Draymond. Poole took a fall. KD took a fall. Wiseman took a fall. Iguodala took the fall. Livingston took. I ain't gonna say Livingston. Iguodala. Ultimately, Kuminga. Like all these guys, all because you want to lock into playing Draymond Green in small ball, and you want to pay Draymond Green max money. That is the reason why all these future stars or future good role players that you had, you couldn't keep. Wiggins as well. Couldn't keep him because you wanted to pay Draymond. Well, the decision should have been made years ago to not pay Draymond and to let him go. Trade him or let him walk. Y'all could have moved forward and retooled around Steph with younger pieces. And now you look at all these younger teams as advancing. A young Minnesota team. They got one vet, Mike Conley. Well, he's not the only vet, but one old guy. Because Randall's a vet, but he's still a young guy in my opinion. Definitely Ant-Man's a young guy at 23. McDaniels is a young guy. Alexander Walker young. Gobert is a vet. So you got vets, but the only old vet you got is Mike Conley. Denver Chizo very young. And they're rotating these dudes and they running horses. They're running. Same thing with OKC. Young guys moving forward. New York, young guys. Boston, young guys. They got vets there too. Al Horford, Porzingis, Drew Holiday. They got the vets. But their horses that are running, they're running circles around people like Steph and Draymond. These dudes are old. They're running. You need these young guys. You need them. But they fumbled the bag. They definitely fumbled the bag, man. But speaking of Boston, they kept their series alive. They kept their playoff dreams and hopes of getting to the finals or back to the finals. They kept it alive with a Game 5 win. I predicted they would win in Game 5. My prediction is not the same for Game 6, however. The reason why I think they won Game 5 is the motivation they got for one, just the pride, having pride. Hey man, we're the champs. You know what I mean? There's no way we're about to get beat 4-1 by a team that we will heavily favor to beat. Right? So we out here playing for pride. And then we also out here playing for Jason Tatum. We just lost our leader. Man, let's do it for him. Let's play. And then we're at home. Right? We ain't about to get closed out like that at home, right? So they had a lot of added motivation to play. And closeout games are the hardest games to win in the playoffs. Right? So I predicted the Knicks would lose this game in Boston. I predicted the Boston would win. But for Game 6, I think they can try to mentally get themselves up and motivated for this the same way. It will be in New York at Madison Square Garden. It'll be loud. It'll be packed. They'll be ready for this closeout. New York is the players will be ready. And Boston are going to have to come with it if they want to get this win and force a Game 7. I'm not predicting that they will. I'm predicting that they probably would play well early. But I think if New York has enough resistance, and especially if deja vu sinks in the fourth quarter where New York is walking them down from a 10-point deficit, and now here comes New York, I think Boston will crumble, right? But I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping that New York give them their best shot, and Boston just will be able to withstand it and show the true champion heart that they got. and it goes down to the wire or something of that nature. You know, maybe Boston pulls it out and get the win and force a game 7. That'd be dope. But the motivation for New York should be if we don't win this game at home, we don't get another home game. We're going game 7 in Boston, and we don't want that. These are the champs. They don't got Tatum, but they still got Brown, and they still got these other players that are really great players. So it's possible. It's possible that these boys could really just beat them 3 games in a row. I mean, we just seen Minnesota beat Golden State 4 games in a row. So, you know, getting 3 in a row is not a impossibility for Boston, the defending champ. So I think they can do it. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it. I'm just predicting that New York could get this game 6 win in New York. That's my prediction. And we'll see how it go. Make sure y'all hit the like button, man. I'll be live later today. Y'all watching this in the morning, and it's a playback. But I will be live later today for a show that I got planned for y'all. That's going to be dope. Can't wait to hear and take phone calls and see y'all thoughts on what I'm about to get y'all later today. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already done it. Share this video as well. Leave a comment. Say what's up to me. Let me know who up in the house. Most importantly, hit that like button. And I'm still making upgrades and additions to the studio. So if you ever feel so kind to donate, you can donate to the Cash App. Man Down Sports is right there at the top. It's on that side. It's right there. Right. So donate there, and I appreciate that. But if, you know, it's not necessary, you know, just hitting that like button is enough for me. But other than that, man, I catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.